now. Molly Jong-Fast is joining me. Why? Can we just talk through, Molly? It's just some of the okay, the crudité thing, right? It's not live. It's not live. There's someone behind the camera that could have gone, well, let's not say crudité. Maybe like a Super Bowl party or something, or, like a snack. Crudité, right? Multiple homes, talking about multiple homes, for instance, just completely disconnected with the voter that he needs, right? And then follow that up with kind of just being straight up mean-spirited, his team at least, right? Talking about John Fetterman and his health, essentially saying, and this was his senior communications advisor, Rachel Tripp, if John Fetterman had ever eaten a vegetable in his life, then maybe he wouldn't have had a major stroke and wouldn't be in the position of having to lie about it constantly. This is a physician. This is the top communications advisor for a physician who was running for Senate saying this about an individual. Why are they just so bad at this?
Well, I think there are two problems here. One is that Trumpism only works for Trump, right? So when other people try to do Trumpism, it's always a disaster. And that's what you're seeing here.
Like Marco Rubio, like in 2016, back in 2016. Right.
Yeah. And Trump is able to do it in a way that his people like, but other Republican candidates just can't get it to work for them. But the other problem is that the things that made Oz a good surgeon, and he really was known as a very prestigious surgeon in a good hospital, those are the things that really make him an unappealing Republican candidate. He's bossy, he's exacting, he tells you what to do, he has this kind of definitiveness, which is sort of unbearable. I mean, you don't want to have a beer with this guy. And ultimately, unfortunately, a lot of American retail politics is, do you want to have a beer with this guy? I also think he comes in real contrast. So much of Trumpism is this anti-immigration rhetoric, that you have someone that is an immigrant who voted in the election in Turkey in 2018.
Yeah. And even the way that he explains how his family came to this country seemed inauthentic in and of itself, right? Trying to kind of say, okay, you can relate to me, right? They came here legally, and it just seemed kind of inauthentic even coming from him in the way in which he wanted to kind of ingratiate himself with the crowd. Let me read some of what you have talked about here in your piece. If Trump showed everyone what a powerful tool Twitter in particular could be to amplify his message, Oz has demonstrated that for a less adept social media user, the platform can be a liability. Betraying the hidden flaws of a political candidate, couldn't a rally in support of Oz, I wonder here, as we take a listen to kind of what your analysis is on his usage of social media, couldn't this kind of amplify, right, these shortcomings?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he does better when he's hiding. He does worse when he's out there. And you see this again and again. He just is he just can't sell himself. And maybe because he never has had to. Remember, he was a surgeon. He went to Ivy League college, Ivy League medical school. He has this incredible pedigree that's very fancy. But now he needs to go out and charm people. And that is kind of not what he can do. It's also interesting that I do think they're really coming up against the problem that a lot of Trumpism is built on this kind of racism and real anti-immigrant sentiment, legal or otherwise. So him saying, well, they were legal immigrants, I'm not sure these Trumpy people care so much.
Yeah. I want to play for you a little sound of the former president last night, kind of making this really egregious, shocking claim about John Fetterman and drug usage. Let's play it, and then we'll talk on the other side, Molly.
Fetterman supports taxpayer-funded drug dens and the complete decriminalization of illegal drugs, including heroin, cocaine, crystal meth, and ultra-lethal fentanyl. And by the way, he takes them himself.
It's honestly shocking to hear, backed up, obviously, with no evidence, to put something like that out there. Again, a guy who just had this kind of massive stroke and then essentially calling him a drug abuser.
Well, it's Trump 101, right? He always says stuff like that, right? Hillary couldn't use bleach on her emails. I mean, he lies. And that's what we've seen again and again. And so I'm not super surprised about that. But I am curious to see what the Fetterman camp will do with this, because Trump has opened the door to them using this. Now, how they use it, I'll be interested to see. They've been extremely good at social media, and they've used a lot of, the campaign raised $500,000 on Oz's crudité plate. So I think it's an opportunity for them.
Molly Jong-Fast, as always, someone I love to get crudité with. I mean, who doesn't love good crudité, Thank you, Molly. Good to talk to you.